Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much again for joining me here. Hope you're having a great day, wonderful weekend. Taking a quick update here or look at Bitcoin, see what's going on. 69,500. We are still ranging in this lower range of 69,200, upwards of roughly 70,000. Every time we come close to 70K, the price rejects, so we can presume that's a strong resistance. We can also say the same roughly for now at about 69,200. The only problem here is that we've retested that level a lot more than the upside, implying we may even see the price continue lower. This is a bearish type of rectangle pattern, if you will, where the price action is probably more likely to break down than up, just based on what we're seeing here so far with the pattern, right? Truth is, patterns aren't everything. There's a lot more to trading than just that. So we're not going to use that. We're just going to use that as a grain of salt, as they say. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at the backend data here for Bitcoin. See what's going on while we're waiting for this to load. I want to say thanks again for just being an awesome part of my life. I hope you're all having a fantastic weekend, and don't forget to hit the like button, comment below if you get a chance. Quick congrats to our community too. We took some nice solid profits here on Solana, 27% near protocol, and Bitcoin in the 30% range. Those are all shorts. We do technically have a couple of longs open with Solana and SUI right now, and they are a little in the red. So the truth is, Bitcoin didn't respond as well as expected yesterday before the candlestick closure, and at this point here, price action isn't looking super strong, but it's a weekend. What else can you expect? So let's take a look here at the back end data. Kind of see here liquidation levels on the back. Quite a lot of longs here at about 68.3, upwards of 68.8. So as per usual, 68.8 is that lowest level, and we can see, of course, a little bit further down at 68.3 for just some heavy local concentrations of liquidation. So a lot of times the price will come down to those little support levels like we're seeing multiple times, and we'll get one last little wick down there to essentially sweep that. But once more, still too early to tell, but that does seem fairly indicative at this point, considering that's also a key fib level. That's our 0.618, 0.65 golden pocket, right? So when we take a look here at the backend data, let's go ahead and refresh this as a different chart. For Bitcoin, we can see the delta for shorts is too high. So me personally, in most cases, a lot of times when you see this, and we saw the exact same thing, only opposite, happened just recently when the price action couldn't pass that 73K range. We saw a lot of longs get destroyed, but there was too many longs in the market, and the market makers know that. They made things right, okay? We're probably going to see a similar scenario here because there's just too many shorts in the market right now, too much liquidation potential, so the price is more likely to go up than down because of that, okay? Now again, that's a small contributing factor. We don't make decisions based on that, but that gives me a little incentive to note that the price action should recover soon for Bitcoin, at least to retest that 70 to 71K range. But once more, you never truly know. That delta could shift just based on people actually securing profits. Because generally, the reason why those things reverse themselves is because people are too greedy for too long. And you can never hold on to a position forever. You'll see some people posting online. I see it on Twitter sometimes where somebody has, $100,000 profit on a 50x leverage trade that was taken at $40,000 for Bitcoin. They're still holding open. Little do they know, they're getting chewed up on fees, and it's going to be worth very little in the long run if they hold on too long. Again, people don't understand the fee structure for a leverage. It's the more you use, the more you're charged. Really, it's the simple way to understand it. Okay, so take a look here. We got a doji candle forming here so far. So if we can close today at the 69.5 or higher, we may see a bit of a recovery continuing upwards. Okay, now again, it's not a guarantee. You can see doji candles all the time that don't necessarily work out exactly the way they're intended, but for the most part, when you see a doji candle at the the end or the tip of a continuation, it's likely to go the opposite direction. Keep in mind, we also had 3 fairly strong red days here too, so today being a green day would make sense just based on that natural take profit scenario. Okay, so that's existing there on the charts. What else is existing is the 20-day SMA still working as a potential support range for us at that 68.5 level. I have the red line here on the chart to kind of signify that lower 0.65 fib level. It's also a local high on the smaller time frames, which should work as a new low if the price comes down that low. So my money on the short term here is the price continues lower. 68.5 would be a solid bouncing point. But if we do close today 69.5 or higher, that would give us a nice little doji candle with potential for reversal a little sooner. Again, That's just a pattern. It's not exact science here, folks, but that is nice to have that and also be above every single moving average. We're also over 50 on the RSI, so we still haven't broken bearish at all. We can see money flow index is still low. Once more, still kind of a sign of weakness. And then, of course, we can see the stochastic RSI swinging down and MACD trying to diverge. We've got a lot of MACD FUs lately, so I wouldn't be surprised if this guy just pivots and bounces. But the truth is here, that's a moderately ominous sign, not necessarily a good confirming sign here. So when we look at the overall sentiment here, there's a lot of conflicting factors, but the thing that gives me a little bit of support or just comfort is knowing that the 66.5 to 68 range, that 66.5 to 68K range, which is difficult to say for some reason, and there's a lot of control there based on volume where we ranged pretty well before our last leg up here. So we have a decent amount of support below us here. Okay, so if the price does continue lower, I think we're still going to be in good shape to likely pivot and continue back up to at least retest that 70K range. So what are we looking at here on the 4 hour? What does that mean for us? Well, we're still under the 20-day SMA, of course. That's a trendsetter as per usual. So it kind of just reaffirms and reiterates until we get above this trend line. We don't really have any, we have no good excuse to take a long, really is what it boils down to. We're testing and kind of bouncing above and below the 50-day SMA. That does reinforce some support in that range. We can also see here we're under 50 on the RSI. Generally not construed as a positive sign. I think we need to get over 70K at the very least to see that change, okay? Same thing with money flow index, still too low here. So the problem here is that we're not seeing a lot of volume. We're seeing volume spikes here and there with a lot of like knee-jerk reactions where people will buy instantly or sell instantly, but we're not seeing consistency. We don't have a lot of that right now, at least with the volume being fairly well steady. So that leads to these weird little things that we're seeing right now, and overall not giving us a lot of confidence here in, again, I would not recommend a long position at this point, specifically not on a weekend. Now, some altcoins are starting to bottom out. You might find some benefit taking some longs, but I think it's less likely right now, just based on how high Bitcoin dominance is and just kind of giving us the indication that, hey, altcoins are suffering. Keep in mind, Bitcoin dominance is the effect of altcoins selling off, not necessarily the catalyst, right? So when you see like these charts and stuff on here, it doesn't mean too much. It's really just kind of giving you a representation of how altcoins are behaving. And at this point right now, generally speaking, as Bitcoin dominance goes up, alts go down, and we're seeing just a lot of difficulty with altcoins really just breaking free. We're seeing more meme coins happening, they were recently, of course, spiking, and that usually is a sign of reversal for Bitcoin, which we're seeing now. We talked about that in our community a couple of days ago. So last but not least is Ichimoku Cloud. Obviously, we know we want to stop here at the end and kind of confirm that we have no trade is a good trade right now. Okay, so again, lagging spans within the price, not a good call. Conversion line is still below the baseline, giving us indication that we have momentum to the downside still. It's likely because of this massive candle, but still, it is present. Last two as well is this descending trend line is running fairly concurrent with the upper and lower leads on the cloud here. So again, until we get 70K or higher, we're not in a good position to consider taking a long, okay? So again, I know it seems weird and strange to wait for a higher price point to take a long position, because why can't you just take a long now and when you get there you secure profits, or you're already averaged in better? It doesn't always work out that way, folks. We don't know we're going to get break this descending trend. We don't know we're going to essentially continue higher. Now, when I sent my playout chart yesterday, there's two different scenarios that are likely to play out. The first scenario I thought was going to happen where the price breaks free from this range of 69,200 and essentially channels below that within the golden pocket. That's still a possibility, but basically that didn't happen, right? And then if we take a look at this current scenario, that's kind of playing out here, but we're seeing a lot of weakness where it's not actually retesting 70K. It keeps going lower and lower. So if we cannot establish a higher high, or at the very least a higher low, we're in a position right now where it's it's not looking so great. So either way, I'll post a playout chart on our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord here momentarily. Thanks again so much for the awesome support too as well. You know who you are. Last but not least as well, this is looking pretty good. We got a solid amount of volume so far with our trading. I wouldn't say it's a competition, it's just a progressive prize pool. A lot of good traders trading with some decent volume there. So keep up the good work. It looks like we are on target to hit at least a $30,000 to $60,000 prize pool, depending on the amount of volume. So really good stuff. If you're not sure about that, Link down below. Go ahead and register. We got over 700 people in there, and it's a lot of fun. So check it out. Thanks again for your time, folks. We'll look forward to the next one. Have a good one. Take care.